Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a special edition of the following conversation is scheduled for one fall. We are talking about a project. We are talking about Project Codename. We are talking Sinatra, a independent professional wrestling show emanating from the Hoboken Elks, Friday, May 17th, 1005 Washington Street, Hoboken, New Jersey, is the host for the 7 o'clock bell time when Project Codename Wrestling presents to you Sinatra, an all-star variety supercard featuring intergender matches, 2 DJs, a special catered menu, the Sandman, so much more. King of the Scramble. It's stacked up. But speaking of stacked up, let's get right to it. One of my very few friends in the wrestling business, unfortunately, is joining me first here as we talk Project Codename Wrestling. In my opinion, in the state of New Jersey, he's easily one of the 5 best pound-for-pound wrestlers. He is, in fact, the definition of fluidity and crispness. He is, in fact, Brooklyn's own Donovan. Welcome to the program.
Oh well, thank you, man. That was a hefty introduction, my guy.
Well, because we're time construed, I didn't give you the longer intro like I usually do on the program. I haven't seen you in the longest. How are you these days?
I'm good, man. Just got back from tricep surgery. Tricep surgery recovery, and it's been a month now since I've been doing my thing. The bookings have been coming, and I'm just out there trying to do me and make things happen.
What's the rehab like on the tricep? Because I don't think, in the indies, I've had a lot of guys with the back injuries, rotator cuffs. I know guys that had the hip replaced even and knees. But what's the tricep injury and the rehab like?
Oh well, I mean it's pretty rigorous. I mean you one obviously the first and foremost is recovery. You're gonna have to sit it out for at least a good, at post surgery, maybe a good month and a half or so, and then after that, I got blessed that Crowbar is my physical therapist, so
Okay,
went
shout out
out,
to him, Chris Ford.
yeah, I went out to him and it's just little exercises here and there to start building it up. It's so simple, stupid simple things that you do first just to like start engaging the muscle and everything, and then at some point then you get allowed to do a couple of little gym workouts. But with Crowbar, I mean, he knows how to get you there because he's a wrestler, so he knows exactly what you need to do, how long it takes. And I think within 3 months I was
Yeah.
already starting to go ahead and be released to go to the gym and everything like that. And then at that point it was time to turn it up.
It sounds like for this injury, because I've known you for 10 years now, it sounds like for this injury, you're a lot more wise. You're not overtraining. Uh you're not coming in at a rapidness. You're aware and you're training to return, not to come up short. Is that correct?
Oh, that's 1000% correct. Before first off, before I've had like basic, simple stuff, maybe some tears here and there, but not full full complete tears that require surgery. So
Right.
I've been blessed enough, at least for 20 years, that I didn't have to deal with that. uh in the same sense, unfortunately it had to happen, or
Sure.
it happened. Um and just now, yeah, it's more, I'm more aware of my body. I'm not young like I used to be, that I'll just throw myself here and there and take unnecessary risk. But I'll still go out there, I'll still do my thing, I'll still, again, like I said, like I continue to say, turn it up. And I'm just like you said, smarter, wiser, more experience, and know what you can do, know what you can't do, and the things that you're iffy about, just give it a shot and see how you feel about it while you're training. And if you don't think that it's gonna work out, don't push yourself to that point that you can injure yourself. And not even with that, let's be honest, my injury was simple. It was a simple thing that led to a big, you know time missing injury, where
Yeah.
it was as simple as me taking a front bump, and my body couldn't decide whether to put my hand towards my face to flat bump that way, or just let my arm rest off to the side of my body and
Yeah.
take the bump in that style. So it's like, my body was talking both ways, and I just landed directly on it, and it caused it. It's simple, stupid, simple things.
Yeah, it's crazy
So
how the wires get crossed up like that while we're performing, right?
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
it's tough because we got a lot of ground to cover. We got a lot of people to have on the program, but I would be remiss if I didn't talk about what I find the obvious. It's no secret. Um, as a wrestler, I really do admire you. At risk of you busting my balls about it for the rest of my life, I really do. Like, if I could have been a wrestler, you're probably one of the guys I wish I was, because I really do think you're so solid. Um,
I
going back
appreciate that.
to no, absolutely, absolutely. We give each other a lot of shit, but as a wrestler, not a lot of guys hold it to you, honest, and you deserve your flowers all the same.
Thank
So,
you, brother.
you know, you've done so much in your tenure. I don't want to offend you, but 20 years, right?
Right.
Right. And you were kind of at that early renaissance period of tag team wrestling. It's no secret. You and Rob Vegas were a very premier act in the tri-state area as Style and Finesse. You guys were at JP. You guys were at Ace. As an individual, you were over at ECW, NWA New Jersey. I mean, you were all over. To then fast forward to still being a tag guy, and then it was kind of like, all right, I've done this, I've been there. Then you became the single act, which really helped with like your Diamond run, your Fight for Flight run at Ace, and that transcended everywhere else, like Magic and everywhere else, like Upper Limit. From an accomplishment standpoint and your goals, where are you at now in your career? What are you looking for now?
There's no, I don't sugarcoat and I don't hide it. I'm trying to get myself a contract.
Okay.
I've, 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 you know, I'm not gonna go ahead and give that whole speech that I've busted my ass for 20 years and I've done the trips and the miles and everything like that. Because then I'd be lying to you guys.
Right.
Uh, you know, I've, I've done what I can. I've busted my ass in my sense of what I've done. I've put myself out there. Um, Successful sometimes. Other ways, not so much, because there's a lot more ground that I could have covered that I didn't, and I kind of regret that in a sense because it, you know, it those are those points where you could probably catapult your career, and
Sure.
you know because you had a certain mindset or you around the wrong crowd or anything like that. Is just you don't think the end story. You don't
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
which the end story for everybody, which is not really the end story, is kind of the beginning of a new chapter, which would be the moment you make it. You get yourself on TV.
Yeah.
Or which is how many companies are out there doing that now. There's plenty of options out there. You know,
Right. But
um,
plenty of options, but none of which are the same, even so, right?
absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I have my two or three that I would love to perform for, and I feel
Right.
like I would be a good act for it, and it's just a matter of them seeing it and me making enough noise to be like, "Yo, look this way, my guy." You know?
Right, right. So let's dive into that a little bit, because that leads to another question in the same vein. You and I are very hard on each other, and it comes from a place of love, even when we're wrong. But like, there is no, you're never gonna know, right? But do you think it was you as an individual? Do you think it was, because let's be honest, 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, before AEW, the size thing was still very much a stigma in wrestling. Um, was it the What do you think it was that it took you really right up until the pandemic? Because you were doing a lot of great things at Evolve, which we're going to touch in next. What do you think it was that was kind of hindering you to get noticed, the next step, the door and Evolve? What do you think? Do you have an opinion on that, or the definitive reason?
I can put some of that blame on myself. I mean, I'm never one to point at other directions and say, that's possibly the reason why.
Uh-huh.
Because then if you're doing that, to be honest, you're bullshitting yourself.
Yeah.
If you don't look at yourself in the mirror and say, I need to fix XYZ, or maybe try this, and that, and your excuse is, oh, because this guy didn't like me,
Yeah.
because this, because of this and that. No, if you're a great talent, the cream, as they always say, the cream always rises to the top.
Yeah.
And you can have anybody that hates on you or whatever the case may be, but if you're undeniable, you're undeniable.
It's
And
true. And I feel like that's become like the scapegoat answer. Am I right?
no, 100%.
And
It's
don't get me
always been
wrong.
like
Like,
that.
listen, we'll say what it is. Television wrestling, indie wrestling, that shit does happen. It does.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's becoming a cop out, right?
It's definitely a cop out. I mean, again, at the end of the day, you might not like somebody that's on TV, and they might not like you, or they can say whatever they want. But again, if you're undeniable and you've got the talents and you bring it every time, and you can't be denied, it
Yeah.
makes no difference. What I can say for me is again, I didn't make myself noticed. I didn't
Okay.
I didn't put myself out there in that way where people can go, well, who the fuck is this guy? You
Yeah.
know? And the tiny, the times that I did do it, success came with it.
Yeah, of course.
I put myself out there, and I got myself into Evolve. Um I can tell you of a time where I went ahead and I was on the road with Steve Paney and Azrael.
Yeah.
We went to a tryout down in, I believe it was Georgia, and there was TNA related guys there. Even Scott Dale Moore was there at the time. And it went from just a tryout to be able to do the show. Oh, Larry Auto Pro, that's where I was.
Okay.
And it went from something as simple as us doing a little quick tryout to go ahead and be looked at there, to all of a sudden me being thrown into a match as a possible, as Scott
As a
Dale
prospect.
Moore. No, yeah, Scott Dale Moore and a couple of those guys were looking at me that night. It's a matter of you actually making the sacrifice and putting yourself out there.
Right.
Because again, if they don't see you, they don't know about you. You don't exist. You know
No,
how
it's
many
true.
wrestlers are out there trying to get their attention?
And we talk about that all the time. You could be the best wrestler in the world, but if nobody knows it,
It don't matter. Exactly.
exactly.
No,
Exactly.
so those times I did take chances on myself. I did get noticed.
Yeah.
And I can say, like, even with the Evolve run, I felt like maybe I should have. There was shows that were in like Chicago and I forgot where else, and I feel like it was like I got into the whole group, the Unwanted. I wasn't involved. Um, but then now when we went on the road to the next city, I
Which
wasn't
for those
booked.
who need I'm sorry to interrupt. For those who need context, Donovan eventually made it to Evolve Wrestling and the Wrestling Network, and he was part of a group called the Unwanted with Eddie Kingston, Joe Gacy, and Sean Maluda. And literally just before
Oh,
the pandemic, we didn't know
mhm.
this yet, of course. Um, let's say what it is. We knew Joe Gacy was going to get signed. But we kind of we didn't know where Eddie was going to go, but he had a couple, feelers out there. But I think you maximized your minutes at Evolve because I saw you work 3 times and you never wasted motion.
Oh no, I mean, yeah, I mean, I went in and did my thing, but again, at the same time too, I could have done more. And
Okay.
I say that in a sense, again, like I told you, they had a show down in, I believe it was Chicago. I said, and other
Yes.
locations that I should have, in my eyes, as a professional wrestler, when you're trying to make it somewhere, or if
Right.
you're trying to make it to a promotion, a big promotion, because remember, Evolve wasn't this little rinky-dink indie. It was the
No.
indie that had connections to WWE. So it was a
Right.
big indie, you know? And in my eyes, even if I wasn't booked that date, the fact that I was still involved with them, I should have
Mm-hmm.
showed up in my eyes. Even if,
Okay. I
again,
understand now. You're saying that basically, even if it would have been like, oh well, I'll be there, Gabe. You know, whether it's
exactly.
Chicago, something. If it was a realistic commute for you, Gabe, I'll just be there. If you need me, it's fine, but I'll be there regardless.
Exactly. You gotta show them at the same time too. Yeah, you get blessed because of your talents, and you get put on the spot and
Yeah.
things like that, and that's great. But at the same time too, you still have to show them that you want it. Just, you got, all right, I got the booking. I'm in
Yeah.
the group. That's great. but
Yeah.
now I have to show that I want to be there too at the same time.
And
So taking the
that's another
booking and
thing. A
feeling
lot of
like,
guys are okay with just being there.
yeah, and and during that time in my life, with everything that was happening around me, I was in that state of mind, but at the same time too recognizing that what I'm doing is not enough to get to where I want to be, and
Right.
that kind of hindered that growth.
I get you. I get you.
Yeah.
As of late, you have been. I'm seeing you branch out even more than you already were. Because pre-pandemic, you were getting things done. Obviously, like we said, we touched on Evolve. Post-pandemic, you've kind of been rocking in the same thing. You were part of the Eddie Kingston show. Go figure on. Part of the Wrestling Network. You were a big part of GSW while the shows were at Richfield Park. They're pretty much based out of the South. Of course, Upper Limit Wrestling, where you were the champion there.
Right.
You got to do some JCW stuff in between. You're always a fixture at Ace, at Titan, of course, at Magic, and now you're doing the stuff at CCW. Talk to me about what you're doing at CCW, because I really love what they do. I don't know if you know this. I'm really good friends with Lisi Almeida. Um,
Okay.
so I really love what they do as an independent. You're there with guys like QT Marshall and of course Top Dollar. What's the vibe like over there?
Those people are fucking fantastic, man.
Yeah.
Nothing but 5 stars over there with those guys. They really, the talent care, the people that are putting everything together really care, and they just want to put out the best show. And then just you're surrounded by people who have done, maybe not main event WrestleMania, but they've done great things in this business, and they have a good mind.
Yeah.
um, with you have QT there, you've got even Nelio, who books the shows and everything. He has a great mind. He feeds off of his guys. But he knows what he wants, and what he wants, it always delivers. I haven't seen a time where it's not. And they're great production, great everything. And again, a lot of other good people that are there. Bill Alfonso's there.
Yeah.
You got Danny Birch that's there. So you got good minds that are there involved with the guys too, the younger generation of superstars that are coming up, and they're teaching them right over there. You know,
You made such a
um,
great point though, like, oh, these guys didn't main event WrestleMania, but the experience is still invaluable. Like
exactly.
we try to like sometimes downplays, oh, he's been wrestling 20 years, he's never been anywhere. Who are you to say that?
Yeah.
Like of course some guys unfortunately they stay in the indies forever, but there are tons of guys that are credible in the indies that are not on television. So still try to poach that brain and get the knowledge. If I ever met Bill Alfonso in the locker room, I probably would be arrested because from refereeing to managing to now he's commentating down there, there's nothing the guy hasn't done.
No, yeah,
His WWF run alone is legendary.
yeah, he's really fun to be around. Actually, always very happy and everything like
Yeah.
that. And again, like I said, I went down for that quick little tour with them, and we're still talking. So hopefully, things continue, and I continue to go out there to go do their shows. They're all over Florida, and they
Oh yeah,
draw.
they do
They draw.
Pompano, they do stuff near Miami. I mean Doral, they're really taking over their stuff over there.
Yeah,
And
they're out
again,
there and they draw well. And you got to remember too. You got to think about it like this: Florida, if we really think about things, Florida is WWE territory
oh
because
yeah, sure.
because of NXT. Because
Yeah.
NXT, they do their little tours out there too. So just to have another promotion that's out there that they draw extremely well, wherever they go. Again, wherever they go, they draw well. Their fans are really knowledgeable. Their fans, I believe I went backstage, and I forgot who mean, it might have been Cha Cha that I spoke to, and he had told me, he's like, some of these people actually know who you are, and I'm like, what? And I was like, I've never been. I'm not. I'm down here once in a while. I used to be down there once in a while because of WWN, with
Right.
FIP and everything like that. But it wasn't crazy like that. So to hear that, the fans know exactly who I am and stuff like that, it blows you away a little bit because you're like,
Of
damn,
course.
these guys are really into it, and the crowds are wild. Like I said, they had their anniversary show, um, and the place, I believe there was like 600-700 people there.
That
It
was
was
that the breakout one. Was that it?
No, that wasn't Breakout. That was it was just their anniversary show. That's how they had it announced, I think,
Okay.
if I remember correctly. And Billy Gunn was on the show.
Yes.
You had QT. Yeah, you had a lot of good talent. Again, there's a lot of good talent that I saw there that I'm like, those guys are gonna end up on TV at some point.
Sure. Um, let's just get into it. You're stirring a lot of shit at Pro Wrestling Magic. What gives?
When do I not?
Well, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, I was trying to be nice about it, but yeah. What's up with
No, repeat that again. I kind of lost you there, but
oh, you're stirring shit at Pro Wrestling Magic. What gives? What's going on over there? What is the future of Do Amigos?
well, I mean, let's be real about it. I mean, if you just saw what happened recently, this whole time that I was out and hurt, you would think my right hand man, which was Steve Pena,
That's right.
heavy on the was, um, you would think that he'd take the reins and lead the group the way he's supposed to, lead the group the way that I had envisioned. But, you know, a little piece of gold and a little piece of some fan interaction, and all of a sudden he got lost in the sauce, and all of a sudden he cared about things instead of focusing on the mission. So, and a little bit of a slip of the tongue and popping some lip about me, and I had to just remind them exactly who was in charge. And now, come next month, it's me and him for the Dark Arts title, a title that I actually never lost, a title that I actually had to give up when I got hurt.
That's actually true.
So exactly. So you walking around here, with that title and everything. I mean, he won it that night, so congratulations to him. Whatever. But then you walking around with it, and you decide to like shove it in my chest, like as if there wasn't going to be any retaliation.
Right.
And if he forgot, I'm the heifer, not him, bro. So again, I had to remind him who's boss. And come next month, I'm taking that title, and he could take his ass walking.
Well, you got to be there for Pro Wrestling Magic in that exchange between Donovan and Pena for the Dark Arts title. But right now, let's talk the agenda. Let's talk Project Codename Wrestling Sinatra, Friday, May the 17th. And you are going to be in the King of the Scramble match, which features, of course, Donovan, Mantis, Jimi Hendrix, Alejandro Espinal, Ghost Shadow, and the self-proclaimed King of the Scramble, Walter Diaz. What's your mindset of that? Because you are a pioneer of the multi-man match in the state of New Jersey. I mean, you've won championships for it after all. What do you think in taking on a lot of friends and a lot of fresh meat?
I mean, like you said, I'm a staple of these type of matches in my younger years. So now you just want to add some years of experience, you know, to that. And for me, again, it's about stamping myself as one of the top dogs out here in Jersey, one of the top dogs still out in New York, and just keep doing me. Walter Diaz, I don't even think he belongs in this match. He might be a little too heavy set for it.
Wow.
Yeah, I said it. You got you got Ghost Shadow. Tons of respect for that man. But when we meet, we throw in hands. Very simple.
And you're certainly no stranger to Alejandro, of course, the former Zemis.
Yeah, no stranger to him. Great underrated talent. But again, I see how you move, and I see nothing's changed.
But
So
what
if I
about
know, if I
Mantis,
know
fresh upstart?
Mantis, see, I've known that Mantis for many years too. So if he's doing less complaining and more wrestling, then I think we're gonna have an interesting match.
And what do you think about the chances of Himi Hendrix, whatever he's got going on these days?
Ah, whatever.
Well, that's it right there from the ever confident and the ever decorated Donovan. And I can't tell you enough, you've got to be there for a pro wrestling show like no other. It is a variety show filled with body slams, dips, and chips. It is Sinatra, Friday, May the 17th, 2024, emanating from the Hoboken Elks Lodge, 1000 Washington Street, Hoboken, New Jersey. Doors at 6:30. The bell is at 7 p.m. Tickets start at $25. Of course, you can RSVP ahead of time on our Facebook page. Now, any last remarks, Mr. Donovan, before I let you go here?
I mean, you can follow me on my Twitter and on my Instagram, BK underscore outlaw 718. Uh, just keep following up, and to all the younger wrestlers out there, you know, keep doing your thing, keep grinding, do what you gotta do, make the trips. And if you ain't too sure if that trip is gonna, change your life, make the trip. Because you never know. And I'm talking. This is real talk right now. I ain't. Let's get away from the shows right now, because I'll go back to it in a second. But just real talk. If you're not sure that possible show might be something and change, because you don't know who's sitting in that crowd. And there's a lot of shows that go on in this area, that there's a lot of people in a lot of big places that they show up just to check it out, because they want to see that young crop of talent. Go do the trip, make the show, make it happen, make yourself invaluable to a company. I always say too, at the same time, and this is what I learned this from Mike. If you got at least four solid spots that you could work on a regular, consistent basis, you good.
Yeah.
And then if you have that opportunity to go to one of the bigger indie shows and be a part of that, make sure you get yourself there, or just show up and, like I said, help out. Let them know you're there. Let them know you're interested. And then once you get that opportunity, kill it, because
Yep.
it could be life changing. How many independent wrestlers we have out here, but how many spots do we really have? I don't care how many I don't care how many big time wrestling promotions are on TV, but think about how many spots they still have at the end of the day, compared to
Right.
how many wrestlers are out there trying to make it. And this is to all the guys, push yourselves. And if you're not sure, continue to go, and it'll happen. You know, take that chance on yourself. And at the same time, invest in yourself too heavy. That's the only way it's gonna happen. It's not gonna happen because you know somebody. I know a lot of people think that, but it's not because you know somebody. That person's gonna get a foot in the door for you, and then at that point, it's up to you.
That's
So
right.
just yeah. And now, like I said, Pro Wrestling Magic, go check it out. It's gonna be on the 18th next month, or this month. My bad. It's gonna be May 18th. Be out there doing my thing. Also, that same night too, I'm gonna be doing All Star Wrestling out in South Jersey. Same day, so I'm doing the trips too. And obviously, 17th gonna be in Hoboken, killing it for Project Codename, Sinatra, and that's all it is.
I like that. And I got to say, much respect for you to putting out there the positive message to motivate the next generation. That's something that doesn't happen often from the true veterans of this and any industry. Ladies and gentlemen, Donovan, one of the most respected people, in my opinion, as a worker, and somebody that I really, really admire. You got to check him out at Sinatra when Project Codename comes to the Hoboken Elks. Thank you for your time, my good friend. I don't know when, but I'll see you somewhere down the road.
Sounds good, my guy. Be safe.
All right, brother, always. Tag team wrestling truly is an art. We've explored that in little pockets here on the following conversation, but overall, we haven't talked about it in depth. And I think a great way to do as such is with a fresh tag team, not just a fresh tag team, but an energetic tag team, not just an energetic tag team, but a young-blooded tag team, not just a young-blooded tag team, but a tag team that cares and wants to be successful. And to be honest with you, is in some of the best physical condition that I have seen in
Yeah, baby.
absolute
Yes, sir.
years. I'm talking about my guys, Live Danger. Gentlemen, welcome to the program.
Yeah, thank you
What
for the
up?
great
What up?
intro. Hell of an
Hey,
intro.
Ross, you know how
Yo,
we do it.
All right,
Hey,
now hold on,
I'm like,
everybody's friends here, but introduce yourselves for the 7 or 8 people that listen.
All right, all right. There we go. Hey, I'm Live Wire Charlie,
And I'm Danger Ross, and we
and
are
we are
Live
Live
Danger.
Danger.
There we go. There we go. I love that. Guys, I gotta ask you, how you feeling these days? Because you're having a hell of a year.
Man, honestly, these past months that have been going by, we just been hungry. Like when I mean hungry, it's like a machine just going nonstop, nonstop.
You guys
Yeah,
have been out there working Silk City Kings, Team Splendid, uh, Buddy Thomas and his gaggle of tag team partners, Captain Payne and his gaggle of tag team partners. You're getting your reps in. How many matches are you guys up to as a unit right now?
Where we at?
I think,
We came together in like August last year, and we got like
yeah.
80. Right now.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just working.
So you both decided to do ECPW together. Were you guys friends? How,
Oh
how
no,
does
no,
the
no.
how does the coming together of the Live Danger happen?
Well,
Tell 'em,
all right.
Charlie.
So pretty much what happened was I started at a whole different place, IWF, and then it got to
Okay,
a point. Yeah, it got to a point where like I just want to like venture out, because I was only up to my third match, so I was like, yo, I want to get out there. I want to, venture out,
but
see
you
what's
finished
out
your
there.
training.
So yeah,
Okay, so we don't got no heat. You're good. You finished your training.
yeah. I finished.
He's boys with Kevin Knight. That's his boy.
Ah.
As as long as you finish your training, I'm
Yeah.
good, because I've said it on the show before. Like guys, like they just 3 months in and they want to have a match, and
Oh
some guys make
no,
it that way,
yeah,
but
yeah,
you
yeah.
gotta
No,
finish
no,
your
no,
training.
no, no. Nah. I made sure I finished my training, and then plus I learned even more when I got to ECPW. I'll tell you that much.
Sure.
But pretty much, me and Ross, we ended up meeting. What when was it? Last June, at one of the battle royals I attended in North Bergen, and then he was there, so I was quiet, and then he came up to me. He was like, "Yo, what's up? My name's Ross," and I was like, "Oh, what's up? Yo, my name's Charlie," and then boom. Then that's when, like, after the match and stuff, Gina was like, "Oh, like, where you been? I want you to keep coming around." So I told him like my little travel situation. Then he was like, "You know what? Sure, we got somebody in the area." Then they called Ross over and he was like, "Yo, Ross, where you live at?" And Ross was like, "Hoboken." And I was like, "Oh, I'm from there." And then he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Yeah." So then from there we just started riding together to practice. And then eventually Gino, he started seeing us, and then he was like, "World's greatest tag team. World's greatest tag team." I'm serious. Every
That
person
was
he
well, no,
saw, he
that
was
was
just like,
that
"Look
was
World's
at
the running
greatest tag team.
that was the
him."
running joke between me and Gino. We
Oh
were
yeah,
calling you
you were
Haas
there.
and
You were
Benjamin.
there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I called you Haas and Benjamin behind your backs for like 2 months before I left ECW.
Yeah.
Not on commentary, of course, but
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
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 Nah, pretty much. That's where it started from. Ever since that day, like we just ran with it.
Yeah.
Now, so let's talk about it, because you're both young. It could have gone a bunch of different ways, right? You could end up with a guy that you didn't get along when you're like, this is bullshit. Give me somebody else, whatever. How did you guys like just hit it off from rip? And on top of that, you guys seem to be very synergetic in your presentation, because you got to like really agree or agree to disagree. You guys come out with the bright colors, the face paint. One of y'all could be like, nah, I'm going to do all black and leather and all this stuff. But you guys are like on the same page. And for a rookie tag team, that's rare, man.
Yeah, I mean, we both like 80s. We both like that vibe. We got the same energy. We're just on the same page, man. And
Yeah.
we always coordinate our outfits and stuff like that. And on the topic of World's Greatest Tag Team, we just got some new World's Greatest Tag Team Live Danger Edition in. So we just
Yeah. Ooh, some
we
heat.
I hope we can get those boots in for the show, but might just have to just rep those singlets. That'd be sick.
Yeah. Hey,
So,
hey, we're live danger. We'll make anything work, man.
Now I gotta ask, because I'm out there like, there's got to be one day where that catches up to him. Doing the push-ups and stuff like that during the match. You're not feeling that before you slam somebody? Because I'm out there like, man, I get it. They're getting a sick pump. They're looking good for TV while they're working their match. But if I'm doing 10 push-ups and I'm slamming a guy, I'm hurting something.
Nah, 10 push-ups ain't nothing, man. What? On a regular workout day, woof. 10 push-ups, that's like a walk in the park right there.
yeah,
You
and
know? So we always gotta bang it out just to get the blood flowing a bit, you know?
Yeah, and the whole thing is you learn from experience from other people. So you take a look at Ultimate Warrior. Like, he ran around the ring once and he didn't have any cardio, so he got blown up. So that's why we
Yeah.
do cardio and we're training. Azrael puts us through it. Like Sonny Kiss puts us through it. We're
Yeah.
taking care of ourselves, and we bring that energy and we don't get blown up. Like, we can wrestle for hours. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Now, what is your regular workout for you guys when you're training together?
Well, usually to start off as the warm up, we'll do our regular rolls. Then after we do our rolls and then take our we'll do like a regular like flip bumps, regular back bumps. We'll do some handstand bumps. After that, we'll go into our 5x5s. So it'll be five across, as if like you're gonna whip somebody off. Then the next person reverses it. Then boom, after those five, then you got to do five drop down leapfrogs each. Then boom, after that, cut the person off, then you're doing five up and overs.
Yep.
And then
Yeah.
after that, then whatever Sonny has on the lesson plan or whatever Gino has for that day, then we go from there.
Yeah, Sonny, usually we do some like technical stuff, like ring
Yeah.
positioning and stuff like that. It's just, yeah, working on that kind of stuff. Then we usually have tag matches. We work with the back seats a lot, the Graysons. So we run some tag matches with them. Other people that we're going to be working during the weekend, and yeah, man, that's pretty much it.
Now
Yeah.
you're getting quite the education there at ECBW right now because you're getting Gino,
Yeah,
who's been at it 35 years almost.
yeah,
Then you've got, of course, Sonny, who's bringing that TV experience, and then you got Azrael, who is a true pioneer of New Jersey independent wrestling. Are you guys aware of the education you're getting?
Oh no, we're completely aware. Like if anything, we're taking advantage of it. Like, like we're getting the most that we could get out of it. Cause like our support group is just it's so crazy. And like there's times we'll have conversations about it and be like look how much people we have like behind us, like supporting us, teaching us. So like our wrestling, like our styles or whatever we could do is gonna be real versatile. And then compared to a lot like other places and stuff where like they're minimized.
Sure.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Now, is there any team in particular that you guys haven't worked yet that you're like, I want a piece of that?
Back seats,
Backseats,
back
yeah.
seats for sure. We
Okay.
put on a clinic with them. A lot of the guys down at a combat zone, we've been to training a few times down there. We work the Lost Boys, but
I
hey
love the
man,
Lost Boys. They're great.
we want to work them.
Slime balls.
Slime balls, post game, the rep. There's a lot of teams, and Spo, honestly, they're there. They're over there too. So hopefully soon we'll be getting some reps in with them.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it. It's the show. It's the reason you guys have been so kind to come on here. We're talking Hoboken. We're talking, of course, Sinatra. We're talking Project Codename Wrestling Friday, May the 17th, 2024, emanating from the Hoboken Elks Lodge, 1000 Washington Street, Hoboken, New Jersey. You're both from Hoboken,
Yes,
I'm
sir.
from Long Island
Well,
originally. I
but
just
yeah,
you're
I'm
in
moved out.
Hoboken
Hoboken
now,
born
the
and
two of you?
raised.
Yeah, I
I'm
moved out
Hoboken
here
born and
to.
raised.
Yeah, he's from
So,
Hoboken. I moved out here for ECPW.
so do you guys feel like there's more pressure now, or have you performed in Hoboken before?
Well, I performed in Hoboken before, so honestly, it's not going to be any pressure. Like it's going to be any other match. Any other thing you get into, boom, whoever's there is there. You just go in there and do your thing. That's it.
Nah, man, it's gonna be rowdy. Like whoever we're facing, they're gonna be thrown off, man. We're gonna be bringing all that energy plus the crowd. Nah, it's gonna it's gonna be
Yeah,
end game, man.
definitely with that. We
Home
got the
field
home court
advantage.
advantage.
And
There
I
we
feel like
go.
out of tag teams, you guys might have been low key the best pick because of your energy, because it's a variety show, because of the DJs, the music, the younger crowd that Hoboken already brings to the table. I feel like
Yeah,
you guys were such a great candidate
for sure.
for this show. I don't want to name any names or whatever, but I'm the one who suggested you guys. But even so, with that being said, is there any team in particular you guys want to showcase your talent against? Because the roster's pretty stacked for Sinatra.
Hey, Ross, what you got in mind? Because honestly, hey, you know me, man. I want to cook everybody.
Yeah, man. I mean, Yeah, I mean, whoever gets put in our way, man, it's going to be game over because we got the speed, we got the strength. Like, there's no one we can't suplex. We can't bully around. So
Nobody ain't
whoever we
stopping us,
get,
pretty
it doesn't
much.
matter. Like we are locked into the 17th. So
I love that. I love the energy. I love the confidence. I can't express enough. I say it about almost everybody on the show, but I mean this from my heart for all of you, but you guys in particular in this moment. I'm always rooting for you guys. You guys have so much desire, so much potential that I really, really, really want the world for you guys because I see it and I see it long term. And I see it at Sinatra on Friday, May the 17th. If you haven't got your tickets yet, they're still available for the variety show like no other. It's Project Codename Sinatra. It's independent wrestling at its finest, at its wildness, and maybe at its most liveliest and most dangerous. Live Danger. We're talking Live Wire Charlie, Danger Ross right here on the following conversation scheduled for one fall.